Dillahunty Cruz here, back at it again. I'm going to finish talking about this Matt Dillahunty, Cliff Netchell debate. Now, I thought I would be doing a series on this because I figure, there'd be so many big points brought up. And this one is new to me. I've never seen this one before. However, I think I might have seen him do a debate with Netchell in the past, a long time ago. I think Netchell might have been the one. He was a little bit younger then that got all up in the Dillahunty's marriage and all like that, and used this marriage and the fact that Dillahunty slipped over his words a lot in a lot of his previous debates with other people. And he went out of his way to prove that Dillahunty contradicted himself every single debate over and over and over again. So this here turned to be somewhat of a wreck because Cliff kind of lost his cool there for a little bit until the end there. He lost his cool. Something that Matt said triggered him. I guess it was something about, I'm not going to believe evidence of, these different superheroes or something like that that Cliff got him fired up, and he went off on Dillahunty. Now Dillahunty did do what he does on the Atheist Experience. He did tell Cliff to shut up. He kept saying, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, And then he apologized for cussing, and I feel that Cliff kind of lost his cool and he shouldn't have done that. We can't do that as people of faith. We can't lose our cool. This is why I don't do debates. People have asked me over and over again, hey, could you find some time? Would you be interested one day coming on to my show or doing a live podcast with us or whatever and talk about your worldview? And I'm like, my worldview is my worldview, whether you agree with it or not. And my faith in Jesus is my faith in Jesus, whether you agree with it or not. Nobody gets saved at a debate, okay? People walk into churches and get saved when they listen to Dillahunty, and they've listened to Cliff, and they've listened to, name another atheist. What's his name? Harris, okay? And Hitchens and Hawkins, and you name it. They've listened to these people. And they still walked into a church and gave their life to the Lord. Becoming a Christian is not about evidence. It's about calling. It's kind of like going to a case that you know was closed, but you went back and revisited it when you already had your mind made up about it. This is a problem with atheists. They don't understand that Christians are already skeptical and already have their mind made up about everything negative towards Christianity. In order for you to be saved, you got to be an atheist first. Or a non-believer. I'm sorry. I should have said non-believer. Oh, I'm sorry. Just so you know, atheists are non-believers. Like I said in the last video, the only difference is atheists are arrogant about it, and they think that they want to move God out of the way so they can put something else there. As one atheist who built a church for atheism out of a Baptist church in his neighborhood, or in a neighborhood that he relocated to, whichever one it was. And all they do in there is put down the Bible and everything and dance around, and it's really stupid, it's pathetic. But this guy was so bent on hating on Christianity that he infiltrated one of their churches, and Here in Pittsburgh, they cut the hands off Jesus at University of Pittsburgh at the Catholic Church. They cut the hands off of Jesus, and this is just some of the stuff that goes on. And I've done several videos of why I'm not an atheist and as to why I'm a Christian. But nobody walks into a church and becomes a believer. As you can see, Cliff's face gets a little angry there. He looks like me when I'm preaching. Like gnashing his teeth. Like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, Knucklehead, something. Let me tell you something. And Matt was getting loud with him. And then when he realized that, hold up. In an event meeting out in the parking lot, Cliff's a little more angrier. He might kick you in the balls, man. Matt knew how to calm down, even though they're all three in a different place. He's at his home or in his studio, and Cliff's at his home, as you can see. And this guy here, he's on his channel studio. So, but God help you. In the event of meeting each other out in the parking lot, I think I'd have to jump on Cliff and push him down to the ground because I think he tried to choke Matt. Something Matt said. And as many times as I heard Matt, he's heard Matt and studied Matt more. I've not allowed Matt to get me that angry. I came this close one time of calling the Atheist experience. I came this close of calling the Atheist experience. Okay, I really did. I came very close. And, I really believe that Matt does this as a career, and he has, I really believe he's tired of doing this. As a matter of fact, one day he blurted it out that he was tired of doing this. All I want to say is that you don't need, I said this in several other videos, you don't need to debunk Christianity. Christianity is already rejected by everyone without you debunking it. The reason why atheists want to debunk it is because they want to crucify those that have the nerve to believe in it. And I believe that the difference between an atheist and a non-believer also is the fact that atheists kind of feel that Christians are some kind of power over society, and they think that they're going to be the freedom fighters, when we're just people like everybody else who chose not to believe the lie. You're accusing us of believing a book that is a lie. But what we're doing by reading the book and preaching the book and teaching the book and trying to understand the book, we are trying to escape the lies of being an American. We were trying to escape the lies that caused the Holocaust, that brought up Hitler, that brought up, slavery, even going all the way back to Bible times, that brought slavery, the transatlantic slavery. Okay, you name it. The things around the world that keep on existing and happening that are negative, we the Christians are the people that are trying to overcome these things. This is why we become Christians. When people walk into a church and they decide to check Jesus out, it's not because, they haven't listened to enough atheists. I've seen people come into my church and they want to receive Christ. They're telling me about 100 different things that atheists are saying. And I'm like, okay, do you want to receive Christ, or do you want me to give you atheism? Whichever, if you want me to give you atheism, I'm going to just turn your shoulders around like this and say, walk right back out that door. But if you want to receive Christ, please pray with me. This guy's going on and on and on about what atheists believe. And I'm like, who cares? We're here. We're here. You on our turf now. This is our turf. We don't care what atheists believe. We really don't. But he felt threatened by what they believe. You don't need to feel threatened by what they believe because, like I said in the last video, everything is a claim. If we don't have any evidence that Jesus really is who he says he is, if this all turns over in our face, we didn't have enough evidence to know any better. All we had was Matt Dillahunty over there crying in the rain. What's that? What is that? You can get 100 atheists to do that. That's nothing. Okay? But if we had substantial evidence, as Matt Dillahunty would say, substantial, what? Matt, I have to ask, why does it have to be outstanding evidence? It doesn't have to be outstanding evidence, okay, for anything else. Why does it have to be outstanding evidence for Christian issues? Oh, it would have to be outstanding. Why, Matt? No, it doesn't. It only has to be enough for someone to say, oh, that might be true. That's it. You don't have outstanding evidence for evolution. You don't have outstanding evidence, and oh my God, you don't have outstanding evidence that transgenderism is true, that men and women really are born with this belief that they're in the wrong body. That right there is the end of the debate right there. We can all go home and say the Christians will go this way and the atheists will go this way. Because how many atheists are willing to stand up and say, hey, hold up. We don't believe in fairy tales. So all you transgender people, all you males, you want to say that there's evidence for biology. So, is there evidence that a person needs to identify as a cat, a dog, marry a tree? And we make money off of this. People make money off of this. People wanting to identify as something else. People getting cut under the knife because they don't identify as what they are. So let me get this straight. You atheists will defend the whole LGBTQ community, including the T in LGBTQ. Okay? But that slaps in the face your whole argument that science. Okay, so you want to tell me that science supports and proves transgenderism? Where does it end? Tomorrow, when I get up, it'll prove that it's natural for young kids to be attracted to older men and women and have sex with them as long as. These are not evidences. These are not science. These are human feelings that Jesus wants to deliver and set us free from. That's what these are. Okay? That's what these are. You cannot say squat to me as long as you believe that the LGBTQ community is legit in the eyes of, see, there's no God, so it doesn't have to be legit in anybody's eyes. And how much do I want to bet that most atheists are Democrats? So you're just worldly and wicked like half of America. You're nobody special because you chose atheism. Atheism is a religion. You say, oh, well, we're against religion. You are a religion. What is a religion? when you decide to take the true God and bury the true God away somewhere, and you decide to take on other gods or other forms of God, or change what the true God is all about, one of the three or all three, whichever it is, okay, and create your own stance for how life should be through your man-made false religion. That is what religion is. That is what atheism is. That's what you are. You are a false cult. It's what you are. You can try and flip that and spin that by calling us the false cult, but we're not religious. Christianity is the atheism of religion. There was already all these religions when God called us. When God spoke to, I just did a video about Ray Hagins on one of my other channels. God called Abraham to leave the part of the world that was controlled by human sacrifice. They had their utopia. But God knew that Abraham was not supposed to be part of that. God called Abraham out of that. And that's another thing. Abraham believed God, and it was accounted unto him as righteousness. That's the thing again. It's not about evidence. It's about God calling you. Now, I believe that Matt Dillahunty, you hear me good, I believe that Matt Dillahunty one of these days will be saved before he dies. I believe that with all my heart. I believe before he dies, he's just going to flip on you. I can see it all over him. I can see he's getting tired of this. He's winning arguments that he's not winning. When he goes home to his wife, he knows he didn't win that argument. He knows he didn't win that debate. You can say, hey, great debate, Matt, but he knows he didn't win it. And now I'm watching him talk to Mike Winger. And I'm probably going to do some, notes on that. I believe I've already said some things about his argument with Mike Winger. I'm probably going to do more. But right now, I really believe that Matt is going to give his life to Christ at the last moment when you think it really matters anymore. I believe before he is put in the grave, he's going to give his life to Christ. Because all this that Matt is doing, going from Christian to Christian to Christian. Now, this guy here, obviously he's not a Pentecostal. He's not a Baptist. This Cliff guy. He's not a Pentecostal. He's a Baptist. He's probably Episcopal, or however you pronounce that. He's probably Lutheran or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The way he explains stuff, he's not really a part of basic Christianity. He's from one of those more Protestant churches which are old, like the Lutheran Church or Fundamental Baptists or something like that. He doesn't seem independent. He's part of a big organization, obviously. But, and that's just the way he describes some things. But I believe that Matt he's learning that there are different opinions about Christianity from interviewing all these people. He's learning from arguing with Christians and Muslims and other religions that call themselves Christians. Christians are only one thing, Christians. We don't need a denomination or a religion to define who we are. We're just Christians. And you know that you're not a Christian because you have a problem with the term. Because the term has some flaws in it. But you derived yourself from the flaws. You're no better. It's just like, Hebrew Israelites. They read the same Bible we do. Okay? Seventh-day Adventists read the same Bible we do. You know, I mean, you cannot read the same Bible and then try to claim that you're better than the other Christians. You're reading the same Bible. You're not independent. You're not independent in any way. That's why I don't listen to Hebrew Israelites. I don't listen to, you know, the more mature version of Hebrew Israelites like Pastor Dow. I listen to them, but I don't take anything they say seriously unless they say something that I can honestly back it up with the Word of God within context. Context is another issue within the church, as well as atheism attacking Christianity. Context, and he did a good job. Cliff here did a good job at letting Matt know, you keep taking stuff out of context, man. That's not what that means. And then he gonna take stuff out of context, but when Cliff decides to use, you know, a verse of scripture to explain on a spiritual level why we don't believe this or why we believe this, Matt's like, well, that's not what that verse means. And he's like, well, that's the way I'm using it, Matt, because we're allowed to do that. You don't even believe in the Bible. But Matt carries one with him. I'm confused. And Matt, oh, I got my Bible right here. Okay, Matt, you need a Bible to debunk. You know what? I got a problem. See, this is the one thing that would make all debates an hour over earlier. Like, you only need 10 minutes to do a debate. But the reason why you need hours, maybe 2 hours or more, to do a debate is because somebody is dumb enough to bring the very thing that they hate. I don't bring a Quran with me when I go to argue with Muslims or whatever, because at the end of the argument, I don't believe in your stupid book. It's a phony. It's a lie. What am I going to carry that thing? I don't want them demons falling off of me. I don't know what kind of demonic activity is going to happen to me. Put my hands on that dirty book. I don't carry nothing with me when I debate people except what I believe in, and that is the Bible. I can back up the Bible. Okay? I can back up the Bible. But I'm not going to bring somebody else's material with me. You're just making the debate go long. And if I'm going to bring your book with me to a debate, I better darn know what I'm talking about, Matt. I better have this down to the T. Don't let this minister sit there and tell me, oh, well, you're reading that wrong. That's not what that means. And then he's going to go to other verses of scripture. He's going to go to the notes and everything and prove to you that you don't know what you're talking about. And then you still got to argue because this is your career, Matt. Yeah, you got to argue. Even though you've been proven wrong over and over and over and over again about everything. And there was parts in here where, in the questions and answer column, where Cliff was talking and Matt was like, I never thought of that. We've been debating each other for years. I ain't never thought of that. Okay? But this is your career, Matt. You have to continue to argue even though you know that you're being humbled by things that people say by accident. They didn't even realize they said it. It just came out of them because they understand the alphabet. They understand the math where you don't. So they said it. And they didn't even realize they said it. It just was common sense to say it. And you're like, But then you got to come back. Well, what I want to say is, and you got to keep arguing. Why? Because this is your career. You're afraid of being deceived, and you want to make other people share that same fear, which you shouldn't. And you also have come to the conclusion, I believe Matt has already come to the conclusion that Christianity is true. But Cliff said one thing here at the end of the debate, or near the end of the debate. I didn't watch the whole. Oh, yeah, I did watch the end. I watched it all the way to the end. He said one thing near the end. He said, God has given you free will to accept him or reject him. Now, we hear that all the time, but somebody in the questions and answers tried to, hit Cliff with a dirty one. And Cliff just gave the regular answer. He just gave the simple answer. God has given you freedom. Even the freedom of the cross. So that you could either receive him or reject him. And then that's not even the end of it right there. Many are called, but few are chosen. So you could say, okay, well, for some odd reason, you decide to accept Christianity. See, this is where Lutheranism, right here on my left, if that's what he's into, Lutheranism, and Calvinism kind of makes sense, even though I don't agree with Calvinism. I do believe that, you can quicken somebody's heart by, even through these debates, even though that's not my cup of tea, but I believe it can happen. But Calvinism, people feel that only the called can understand the truth of God. And I'm called, I believe that with all my heart. And there's people I know that are in Christianity that they need to go home and light a cigarette. They need to go get some cooch. They need to go drink and get drunk or whatever they love to do and stop playing the hypocrite in the church of the living God. They need to go back to the worldly behind self, go back to being a thug or whatever you was doing that kept you straight. Because what you're doing now, trying to argue about something, and all you're doing is making a mess of the church. I got a friend like that. And when people come to me and they say, oh, you're such a great guy, you're such a great guy, I say, you need to be a fornicator. He need to go get himself a girlfriend because that's all he cares about. He cares about getting his whistle wet. He don't care about the church of the living God. Everything that goes on, every bit of this man's anger is because he's frustrated because he's not getting any booty. That's not the deliverance of Christ. When you're in Christ, if Christ has asked you to be celibate, you have the strength to be celibate. Like me. I'm celibate right now. God ain't talking to me about no woman. Okay? And when the devil talks to me about a woman, I say, today ain't your day, devil. Okay? God ain't talking to me about a woman, so devil, I don't want to hear it. Okay? But I know people like this in the church. They need to go and hang out with Dillahunty and do some debates. They're not helping the church any. Because all they care about is, oh, I want to impress the ladies. Ladies need to be saved like all the men do. These women need to quit practicing abortion and quit coming into church dressed like a whore and coming into church trying to take all the men and everything, just like the men need to quit playing around. God has given us the choice to receive him or reject him. If you come into the church and you're not serious about the faith, there's no guarantee that you're going to go and be with the master. There's no guarantee that you will see Jesus. There's no guarantee that you will be forgiven for your sins. And atheists, we all have sins. There's a difference between sin and crime. Y'all have a problem knowing the difference. There's a big difference between sin and crime. Crime is what you do in a civilization against, the civilization. Having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend is not a sin against civilization. Especially if you're still populating the world with babies. Okay? Having a boyfriend or a girlfriend is a crime to God. Marrying outside your Christian faith is a crime to God. It's not a crime to civilization because you're screwing, and we're making movies and commercials out of it, and your wife is out there dressing like a hoochie something, and everybody's happy, and on top of that, you're having babies even though we keep preaching the sermon of abortion. So we're populating the earth for every old man and old woman that dies. So, again, like I said in a video just a month or so ago, or less, I said, the earth is for the wicked. It's not for us Christians. We're just passing through. We're pilgrims in a strange land. Okay, this is your land. You do not have to try to debate with Christians like we have some power over you, because we don't. We are the weakest link in this pickle. We are the victims. We are the people who you just sign a paper and we're gone. You just make a phone call and we're gone. Okay, you don't even need a quarter for the mob. All you got to do is just slam your fist on the table and make somebody else mad, and we're out the door. We have no power here on earth except our faith. That is the only power we have. Now, am I saying that power can't come out of that? No, I'm not in any way. I know God has displayed over and over again power on the earth. But why do you atheists feel that you need to debate us? Why do you feel that you need... I listened to some of these questions and answers that was given to Cliff. They made no sense, but I can understand the sickness there. Okay? You are free to be... This is the thing that's dangerous about atheism. If an atheism understands that me being a Christian and him being an atheist has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with him, it's just our choices. But yet he feels he needs to come after me and debunk Christianity for me. He's already debunked it for himself. He is perfectly clear in his mind that there is no God for him. He's perfectly clear in his mind that there is no sin in his life according to him. But if I want to feel that there's sin in my life, but I'm a happy person, if I want to feel that I have to repent every day, if I feel that I have to be in a religion, if I have to be a Christian or something, why is that a problem to an atheist? See, Matt Dillahunty is not going out here because, you know, he needs to. Matt Dillahunty is going out here because he's under the illusion that me being a Christian is an offense to his life. See? And I'm telling you things that Christians don't preach, they should preach. They should preach separation, because it's separation either way, baby. It's separation. You're an atheist, I'm a Christian. There's a huge wall of separation there. I'm not keeping you, even if we're next door neighbors, I'm not keeping you from what you do. You're not keeping me from what I'm doing. Okay? My Bible it's not sitting there waiting for you to trip over when you open your front door so you can fall and hit your face. Okay? My Bible didn't magically lock your cars and your key fob won't let you in your car. My Bible does not clog up your plumbing. My Bible does not cause your daughter to be molested, and it sure in hell ain't making nobody a slave in 2023. But yet you feel, some of y'all, that you have to come after us, as they were asking these dumb, stupid questions to Cliff. And I'm like, what's that have to do with the price of butter in Germany? Like, I don't get it. Like, what is that? What does that have to do with where they poop at in Africa? Okay? Just be glad that you're better off than them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that. You just keep coming after us. Now, I can understand, people knocking on your door. And you having a ready answer to snap off because you hate God so much. That's why I don't knock on doors, okay? Because like I said in almost every video that I do, I always say somewhere in there where it's like, back in the day, when the pastor walked down the street with his Bible, the little hoe went to pulling her dress down. The brother put his beer behind the steps. They hid their cigarette. They put their cigarettes out and stepped on them and kicked them up under the pavement. Okay, everybody was looking good. How you doing, Miss? How you doing, Pastor so and so? How you doing? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, Pastor. How's the church? You had respect. But today, it's like, what are you doing here, man? Get out of here. And that's the way it is today. I watched a video last night. Somebody was showing where this preacher, it was Dory Love. Dory's kind of hard, so I get why some people would try to go off on Dory. It's all women though. No men want to mess with Dory because Dory looked like the kind of person that'll body slam you and pick you back off the ground and body slam you again. You come to him getting physical with him in a male body, he'll hurt you. Okay, he looked like that kind of person. I seen him go off on YouTube telling people to come see him that was trying to criticize him in that. He didn't talk about that when he did his last interview with... Oh, he did an interview with Jesse Lee Peterson. It was a good interview. And even though Jesse Lee Peterson tried to push his Christianity on love, verse what love really believed and actually believed versus what Jesse Lee Peterson believes. Love stayed in there. He corrected Jesse Lee in the most humble way, but I've seen Dory get in his flesh and go off on people too. So one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to make this brother get mad out on the street, because this brother from the streets, okay, he'll whoop you behind. He'll knock you on your head, and he ain't no small little bunkin either. He'll knock you down and pick you back up and throw you on the ground again until you out. Okay, I would not want to make a brother like that angry. Okay, I'm not saying that he don't have the righteousness of God. I'm just saying he don't tolerate no bullies. Okay, but atheists seem to think that they have to bully us, and that's what I call it, being a bully. When you feel you have to come to us and worry about what we believe. It's one thing to worry about us when we knock on your door. It's another thing to worry about us if we come to your school, which we have right to. Just like you have right to speak at schools, we have rights to speak at schools too. When you have rights, let me ask you this, atheist. When you speak at schools, do Christians show up with bricks? Do they go over and turn your sound system off and hit you with it? Do they destroy your track table or your business table or whatever you selling, or you passing out your leaflets or whatever? Do they trash the place? No, but they do this crap to Christians. And so if, let's say you're going to, I'm from Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, and you go up there as an atheist. The minute you go up there as an atheist and start preaching your stuff, trying to get people in the school that ain't thinking about Christianity or atheists, you're trying to convert them to atheism, okay, guess what? A Christian has a right to come the very next day and do the same thing. Convert everybody to Christianity. But you think that when we preach Christianity, you have a right to come and shut us down in the most physical manner. But then you want to sit there and say morality is subjective. But how was you thinking subjective were you thinking subjectively? Okay? When you walked up there and turned this man's sound system off? When you start throwing his tracks all over the place? When you threw a brick at him, was you being subjective? You were being subjective in a way that tells us that we need God. Everybody needs the Lord. I don't care who you are. Everybody needs the Lord. Everybody needs the Lord. And you can't sit there and support the LGBTQ community and then tell me that morality is subjective. You can't sit there and tell me. I remember Matt was talking to somebody one day and he wasn't winning the debate, so he went to the LGBTQ community. And he said, well, if a gay person, and I'm thinking, Matt, stop while you're ahead, bro. If he had said that to me, I would have said, well, I guess this is where you want to end a debate, right? Because I don't need to answer it. It is the answer of itself. LGBTQ answers itself. I don't need to explain it. And then you sit there and say, oh, well, if some men feel that they're in a woman, some men feel that they're in a woman's body and some women feel that they're in a man's body, so they got to do what they need to do to be happy. Where is that scientifically? Where is that? Where is that evolutionally? I rest my case. Dillahunty Christian Life Applications Officer, thank you for watching. I'm going to lay back down even though I got to get up and go to work, but I'm just tired. But thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon with more.